we do, we're a group of volunteers who look after a single Vulcan aircraft, a V2. It's been at Wellesbourne now for 25 years, and for the last 12 or 13 years, a group of us have been bringing it back to serviceable but not airworthy condition. We try and maintain the aircraft, although it's never intended that it will fly, because there could conceivably be a circumstances if there was a major problem on a taxi where, if you like, it could actually have to take off. So what we try and do is maintain all the aircraft systems as far as we can, so that in the event of an absolute extreme emergency, it could fly. The only thing was it could never land back here because the runway is too short. If we don't use a brake parachute, it would then have to fly to somewhere, a nearby RAF station or something like that. The aircraft itself, all the V-bombers were the Victors, the Valiants and the Vulcans. They were our primary deterrent from the mid-50s until the Navy Polaris submarines took over the job of being our deterrent. So that the V-bombers served right through, well, halfway through the 50s and all through the 60s and into the mid-70s, as I say, when Polaris assumed the role of Britain's nuclear deterrent force. They were part of our day. He was a very active part. I was luckily part of the V4, and I was only young at those times. But it was a very, very interesting time to be in the RAF. You worked very, very long hours. You could be sent all over the world at very short notice, and of course the theory was that they would be at readiness all the time, various levels of readiness. The real time that we thought something was, we were really up against it was the Cuba crisis. That was probably the nearest I think we came to World War III. We were sat with the aircraft already bombed up with the crew inside and ready to go. Very nerve-wracking, focuses the mind a bit. And from the point of view of the ground crew, which we're members of, you were very much aware that once you got your aircraft off the ground, you could get a flight of 4 of these airborne in 2 minutes or so. 2 minutes later, you would probably be on the wrong end of an incoming Russian nuclear missile. So it was just one of those things. It's something you accepted as you assumed it was never ever going to happen. And luckily it never ever did. It really is an icon from the Cold War era. It gives people a chance to see what the RAF was doing in those days and what kept the country safe. Obviously the deterrent worked because we weren't involved in World War III. So we owe a lot to the aeroplane. And to see them all scrapped, which most of them have, well, went against the grain really. So I was determined that this one at least, we would give it as long a life as we possibly can. It's stored outside, which is the big downer. A hangar to go over the aircraft would cost something like £250,000 minimum. That would be our ideal aim, but at the moment the finances simply aren't in place.